A reckless moment. But that's not how they usually happen. Most overdoses begin quietly. With routine. With trust. With something taken the same way, at the same time, every day, because it was never supposed to be dangerous. This is not a story about addiction. It's not about desperation or self-destruction. It's about a man who was trying to sleep. And a mistake that never felt like one. I had a friend once, let's call him Rohit. He wasn't someone I spoke to every day, but he was the kind of person you remember clearly because nothing about him was excessive. He was careful, measured, the sort of man who read instructions twice and rarely took shortcuts. When he had a problem, he tried to solve it quietly, without drama, and for a long time that problem was sleep. Not insomnia in the cinematic sense, no pacing the house at night or staring at the ceiling in panic, just long stretches of restless hours where his body felt tired but his mind refused to shut down. He functioned, he showed up to work, he lived his life, but he was always slightly behind himself. At first he did what people usually do. He cut down on coffee, started going for evening walks, stopped scrolling on his phone at night. None of it made much difference. Then someone suggested melatonin. It sounded reasonable. Natural. A hormone the body already produces. Something doctors gave to children. Rohit liked that part. He didn't want something strong, something chemical, something that could hook him. He just wanted help falling asleep. The first few nights it worked so well that he wondered why he hadn't tried it earlier. Sleep came easily. Mornings felt lighter. There was no hangover, no heaviness, nothing that felt like a warning. So he kept taking it, first occasionally, then more regularly, telling himself he would stop once his sleep cycle reset. But life rarely pauses long enough for clean resets. Stress returned. Deadlines piled up. On nights when melatonin didn't seem enough, he added something else, an antihistamine he'd once used for allergies. It made him drowsy, and it was sold freely, so it didn't feel like a real decision. It felt like common sense. What followed was not sudden, not dramatic, and not immediately connected to sleep at all. His wife noticed that he seemed emotionally distant, as if conversations reached him a second too late. He became irritable in ways that didn't match the situation, then oddly passive afterward, as though the energy to care had drained out of him. Rohit himself felt flattened, but he couldn't explain it. He wasn't sad. He wasn't anxious. He just felt less present in his own life. Months passed like this. He began forgetting small things, where he'd put his keys, whether he'd replied to an email, details from conversations that had happened only days earlier. During the day he felt foggy, as though his thoughts were moving through resistance, and at night, despite everything he was taking, his sleep grew more fragmented. The irony was cruel. The very thing he relied on to rest had quietly disrupted the rhythm his body was meant to follow. Melatonin, taken regularly and inconsistently, had begun suppressing his natural production. The antihistamine, never meant for long-term sleep use, crossed into places it didn't belong, dulling cognition, affecting heart rhythm, slowing him down in ways no one warned him about. The breaking point didn't arrive with panic or pain. It came one night when he simply didn't respond. His wife woke to a strange silence, the kind that feels wrong before you can explain why. Rohit was breathing, but shallowly, his skin cold and damp, his pulse fast and uneven. At the hospital, the questions came quickly, then slowed. Doctors asked about prescriptions, then lifestyle, then, almost casually, about supplements and over-the-counter medications. When Rohit mentioned the sleep aids, the room shifted. Not alarm, exactly, but recognition. As if something finally made sense. What followed wasn't a dramatic rescue or a clear diagnosis. It was monitoring. Withdrawal. Waiting. An explanation that came too late to feel reassuring. Melatonin, they said, is a hormone, not a sleeping pill. It doesn't just switch sleep on and off, it nudges entire systems. Taken long-term, it can disrupt circadian signaling, mood regulation, and the body's own ability to sleep. Antihistamines, especially when used chronically, can accumulate, dull the nervous system, and strain the heart. None of it is dangerous in isolation. None of it looks alarming on a label, but together, over time, they reshape the body quietly. Rohit improved. Not all at once, and not completely. His sleep never returned to what it had been, and his confidence in safe solutions never did either. I remember his daughter asking, weeks later, why something sold so easily could do so much harm. No one had a good answer. Because the truth is uncomfortable. Most overdoses don't come from desperation or recklessness. They come from trust. From repetition. From believing that if something is familiar, accessible, and well-intentioned, it must be harmless. The body doesn't recognize categories like supplement or medicine. It only responds to chemistry. And chemistry, given enough time, always keeps score. When people talk about overdosing, they imagine excess. Too much. Too fast. What they don't imagine is accumulation. Or the damage done by things that feel safe enough to repeat without thought. Rohit never tried to push limits. He followed instructions. He trusted labels. He believed that if something was easy to buy, it must be easy on the body. The truth is, the body doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about intention. It only reacts to what it's given, and how often. If this story unsettles you, it should. Not because it's rare. But because it isn't. Sometimes the most dangerous habits are the ones we never question, because we were never warned to.